Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Housing for Good. I'm Karolyn.
And I'm Chris.
Okay, Chris, you have been bouncing around the office. You have news today.
I have been bouncing around. I don't know if it's because of the news.
I'm sure it is.
Is it?
I always have the news. Today you have the news.
I have news sometimes.
Okay, go ahead.
So I thought it would be fun since we have a school personnel here. I'm so excited.
That's true.
So excited.
Yes.
That we would talk about housing news involving schools.
Okay.
So how is housing affecting our schools? And we have a perfect example of this.
We do.
So the first one is teacher housing affordability crisis. Mm-hmm. So across the nation, this has been a problem. So according to the National Council on Teacher Quality Analysis found that teachers in 39 of 69 large urban districts face unaffordable housing costs as of 2024, up from 18 in 2019. Mm-hmm. That is being reported by the 74. I'm guessing that's a website. Mm-hmm. In some districts, rent for a one-bedroom apartment exceeds 40% of a beginning teacher salary. Mm-hmm. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development defines affordable housing as costing no more than 30% of gross income. 54 of 56 sample districts, teachers would struggle to buy a home. So I'm not going to read the rest of it, but basically we know this for a fact because we have a teacher in our homes, Sutherland Estates, can't even talk. In Sutherland Estates, who could not afford to move to McPherson. So if she hadn't moved into the Sutherland Estates, she wouldn't be able to take a job here.
Yeah.
How scary is that we've got teachers who cannot move into our community as first-time teachers? Mm-hmm. So they've done everything right. They went to college, they graduated, they have all their credentials, and we can't hire them because they can't find a place to live.
Yeah. I remember when I worked as a para, there was a conversation I was in on one day where one of our teachers, who had been there for quite a number of years, his children qualified for free and reduced meals. So our teachers don't get paid enough. We all know that for the work they do. Mm-hmm. It's just really sad. But how do you bring new teachers into your district? How do you bring in new personnel for anything that needs to be done on the school if they can't afford to live here?
So I think this is really important, and it kind of ties into the funding that we are going to receive for first-time home buyer purchases. Yeah. That we're going to be able to do affordable homes for under $200,000. We're also doing affordable rentals. So all of that's going to help alleviate that for McPherson County, but what happens to the rest of the country?
I know.
So anyways, that's my news. I was so excited that I found something that was connected to education and to what we do.
Yeah. Okay, so listeners from back when we started, Joey, how long have we been doing this? 3 years. 3 years. Can you believe it?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, yeah. We surpassed our 100 episode.
Okay.
52 weeks in a year, and we've missed a few here and there with holidays.
Okay.
Anyway, back to my point.
Yes.
If you've been listening to our podcast since the very beginning, Cody Rierson was one of our very first guests.
I know.
And at that time, he was the superintendent over in Mound Ridge.
I know.
But we have stolen him away.
Yes, we got him back, didn't we? We snatched him home.
Okay. He had to be voted in. We didn't do it.
Well, he didn't vote in, but the school board is the one who decided that he was coming back.
There you go.
But I think they made an excellent choice.
Okay, I agree too. So, Cody.
Yes.
Please tell us a little bit about your background. I know you did this the first time, but let's share it again.
It's been and we have this on YouTube now, so there you go.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. All right. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, sometimes I get a little long-winded, so
okay, we'll stop.
You just cut me off, but it's great to be back. Those that don't know, I grew up in McPherson, so I was a Lincoln Lion. I was a bull pup. Graduated high school in 2001. Then I came back, graduated college in 2005 from McPherson College. So I was a bulldog too.
Wow.
Always knew I wanted to work with kids. I was always into coaching, always into teaching. Didn't really dive into it, though, till after I graduated college. I then decided to go back. I got my social and psych from McPherson College for my bachelor's. I decided to go back and get my teacher's license at that point.
Yeah.
So I moved up with my girlfriend at the time, but now she's my wife, Abby, and decided to go back to school. It took me 2 years to get my teacher's license. Then I became a fifth grade teacher. Absolutely loved it. I'd still teach today if I could.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm a teacher at heart. I can volunteer coach, so that's how I get my fix as a superintendent. I still coach 8U baseball and
Okay.
coach a little bit of basketball too, which I'll be doing this weekend. My junior, one of my daughters plays basketball, and I'll be coaching them this coming weekend. So, but anyways, with that being said, I was a teacher here in McPherson, so my wife and I ended up back here, and I was at Eisenhower for 3 years, and then I moved to Wellington, Kansas, where I was a principal in a town called Caldwell, Kansas.
Okay.
And so you talk about it's fun to talk about housing in each one of those towns and communities I've been a part of,
Yeah.
because generational poverty was a huge obstacle or a challenge, or however you want to say it, or just something that we dealt with in Caldwell. And then from there, Jana Kane had retired at Lincoln Elementary School, and that's when I came back. And it's crazy to think that I was there for 8 years, but I was principal at Lincoln Elementary School for 8 years. And then an opportunity came up in Mound Ridge to run their district. So I've been there for the last 5 years. And it's so funny to hear you ladies talk, because you said Sutherland, and I had in my notes, I need to do a better job of getting around town, because I was driving over there the other day and I saw those beautiful houses.
Oh,
and
yay.
I thought, I wonder what this is. And I wrote it down and I said Sutherland/Skanky, because I know Skanky's right over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, and that's where I used to live, by the way, down on 612 South Maple. So I was going to at least chat about those, but they're absolutely gorgeous. And so you've already answered one of my questions. To get back to how I ended up in McPherson again, that job opened up. It was a tough decision to decide whether to apply or not, because I was, my kids were all in Mound Ridge schools and doing very well. And I felt like we were in a really good place. We had gone from 400 to 500 total students in a 5-year span that I was there.
Oh my
That's a lot.
gosh.
Yeah,
And
that's a
so growth was great, and a lot of that had to do with they have a great staff over there. They have a good board of education, and their students are students, right? But
Yeah.
the kids are just wonderful
Yeah,
over there too.
yeah.
So did a really nice job, and I'm happy to be back here
Yeah.
in McPherson.
We're happy that you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really happy. I think that the community needed to heal a little bit from all the differences. Doesn't matter who did whatever. And I was like, yep, you brought the right person home. You know, sometimes you got to bring the right person home
Yeah.
and be able to heal that. And so I was really excited. This is just an incredible thing for our community. So what have you had time to think about it? I know you were on the job July 1st, right? You didn't come till July
Yeah.
1st. So you're being bombarded, because we have stuff we're going to ask you after the podcast we don't want recorded,
No.
right?
So you're 10 days into it.
Well,
You're 10 days into it and we're already attacking you.
no,
but,
this is good stuff.
but do you have priorities already? Have you already
Yeah.
sat down and go, okay, so what does that look like
Oh,
for
of
our
course.
listeners?
I wouldn't have applied for the job
Yeah.
if I didn't have those. But yes, I do. I actually formally, we have our first board meeting, even though I've already facilitated one or my board president did, but June 29th, we approved our lead manager for the construction. So Simpson
Okay.
Construction. I've been going to those meetings, trying to be involved for about a month, but I also needed to finish up negotiations, make sure the negotiated agreement was ready in Mound Ridge. So, but with that being said, this is what I've laid out for the Board of Education, which I'm meeting with them next Wednesday for our board retreat. One is going to be relationships, and important piece is listening and learning as much as I possibly can. Because although I was living in McPherson, I was embedded in my job at Mound Ridge. So I have a lot to learn. That even when I was going to ask you about the Sutherland homes, like I should have known about that. I live here, but I didn't. I haven't been over to that area for a long time. So with a community focus, because there is some mending that needs to happen and some healing. Number 2 would be a growth mindset. I've always had that, so it's easy for me, but moving the district in that direction so that we know we've got to get better. Our schools have got to get better.
Yes, growth is very scary for people. I'm fortunate now that I have a great staff and they have that growth mindset, but I think I used to scare them to death. Oh, by the way, this is what we're doing now. Yeah, I mean, when I would have this crazy idea, to me it made perfect sense, and they're looking at me like, we're going to do what?
Okay, so I have to tell you, she did this to me within just a very short period of me starting here. She's like, now, I don't want to scare anybody, but I can tell you something bigger's coming, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? So I know how your staff is feeling right now.
Yes, and it is. It is. And the crazy thing is you can have a growth mindset, and nobody wants to drink from a fire hose or try to eat an elephant in one bite. So there are appropriate ways to attack it.
Yeah,
and so
that's
we
true.
did the same thing in Mound Ridge. They had in 2008 and 2012, they had a budget crunch there, just like they did in McPherson.
Yeah.
And so money was not a problem in Mound Ridge. It was not. But they still ran the district like it was. And so, which I loved that because it held me accountable to showing them that everything we were implementing was needed and was going to be long lasting.
Yeah.
And so doing the same thing here on a bigger scale, and it may take a little more time because we're going to be under 2 years of construction.
Yeah.
It'll be one year of construction, but 2 school years before all the transitions happen. So communication's big, making sure we're all aligned and we're all communicated with and moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And that's not, I'm not just talking about staff. I'm talking about parents and students and teachers and paras, all of those people, and along with the Board of Education and patrons. So then if people, I don't want to say they have to hear the same thing, but they need to hear close to the same thing.
Right.
Otherwise,
They have to trust you.
yeah, and here's where I think now's the time that we can literally do some amazing things. I talk about trust and collaboration. There's no better time to do that than you've got physical buildings going up. And yes, there are going to be some people saying, well, they're making the same mistake, or they're not listening to us.
Yeah.
But there are going to be some things that we do where they realize they did exactly what they said they were going to do, and they listened to us.
Yeah.
And it may just be little things, but that's going to be super important
That
right
is
now.
important. Yeah.
And as that building starts to go up, because follow through is huge, people are going to be looking for it.
Oh, yeah, they'll be watching.
And you make a very good point. I love the point you made about how they had the money, but they lived or spent like they didn't.
Yes.
I love that because that shows fiscal responsibility. The other thing is, I think anytime you can be absolutely transparent in what you're doing and follow through with what you tell people, they're going to follow along. They're going to come along beside you. So
You know what's really fun too? What I found out with the staff that we have here is once they catch on to the vision and that mindset, shoot, they come to me with stuff. Hey, we need to do this or we need to do that.
That's
what
what started happening at both places.
Yeah.
Lincoln for me
Yeah.
and Mound Ridge.
So that really makes a stronger organization when it's not just one person, but you have all these people as a team working together toward the same goal. It's pretty awesome.
Listen, there's going to always be a certain amount of people or people that want to question or that are never going to vote yes or never going to be huge advocates for USD 418 or Cody Rierson. But if we can show them that we're listening, they will develop trust and respect. They may not ever vote for me or for us, but they will say, they are doing some good.
Yeah.
And I had that in Mound Ridge. I knew people that were adamant no bond people, and I intentionally pulled them in after the bond was done, and I walked them through the facilities. And I said, this is now where your grandchild goes to school. You made this happen by voting yes. And you could see it on their face where they just say, well, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
That's awesome.
I'm hoping to be at the same place in 2 years from now. When people go to the Roundhouse or a football game, they think they listened. They did exactly what they said they were going to do.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about this a little bit before, but how does the district identify and support students and families maybe teachers who are experiencing housing instability.
Yeah. I like how you said teachers. I didn't really, it's funny because when I looked at my notes, I wish I would have thought about that more because both ways we've talked a lot about self-care. And so relationships is huge. And I'll use teachers as an example. Teachers are the closest connection to the students in the classroom. So if we can empower our teachers to understand some of the resources that we have for these kiddos, that's awesome right there.
Right.
Now, we have such good principals anyways. I think of Chris Allen or Jill Beam, Kara Schrog. We are a small enough town and community that they know every kid within their school.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I know I'm talking elementary, but I feel like I'm going to get to the actual resources next, but relationships is so important. So they know when a kid comes in if that kid is off or not.
Yeah.
And it's because they have a relationship with that kid. And so it starts with that, knowing your kids. And that's going to take some time because we have some kids that were at Eisenhower that are now being moved to either Roosevelt, Lincoln, or Washington.
Okay.
And my kid is one of them
Yeah.
because they're coming back from Mound Ridge. And so I've been contacting parents and saying, now's a better time than ever because a lot of us are going through these changes. And so relationships is the most important.
Yep, I agree.
Along with that, I'd say there are the actual data points like Sabres, My Sabres. These are check-ins for mental health, basically, so that you can check in and see if a kid is going to be possibly struggling.
Okay, you just said Sabres.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there going, what is that?
What is that? I know it's a, what do you call that when you do the letters? And
Acronym.
There
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
an acronym.
I know it's
Okay.
one
It's
of
Funny,
those.
So
you
you
would ask that, but I
Yeah.
have, it's social, so I don't know what it stands for, but I do know it's a test that the kid takes over their perception of themselves.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So that allows
But also,
you to,
but also a teacher takes it.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
And so it's not like it's one-sided.
Yeah.
And we have to get you have to opt in to this
Okay.
because of all the survey stuff at the state level, which
Yeah.
I totally love. I think it's great that parents need to know that we're doing that more than ever.
Yeah.
So that Sabre then it's
Hmm?
here it's locally, but is it also throughout the entire United States?
It is.
So,
It's part of FastBridge, a
Okay.
benchmarking system.
Okay, so I just want to say that because if you're a parent out there, maybe
Mm-hmm.
your child or the teachers need to be connected to that. Now
Yeah.
you know what Sabre is. We don't know exactly what the acronym is.
I'm going to say it's
I can look
probably
it up for you.
social,
Academic.
behavioral,
Yeah.
emotional,
yeah.
relationship.
good.
Oh, good.
I'm
good.
just going to put some names to
You're
them.
going to have to go look that up later, and you're probably exactly right what that is. But
Yep.
but we always try to connect this back to people across the United States and even international because these resources may be available for their kids too,
Yeah.
and for their
Yeah, and it's I'm not sure if we send because I'm still in Mound Ridge world. I don't know if we send the My Sabres data to parents, but we use it to help sometimes with tier intervention and stuff like that as far as behaviorally goes.
I mean, if I'm a parent, I have a special needs child, and I would want to know that. Honestly,
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
parent, I would want to know that there's something going on that maybe typically I recognize things when my kids are going through stuff, but sometimes you get busy or you don't notice it because it's gradual. And to have that additional information would be really helpful.
Yeah.
That's just my thoughts on that. But
Well, and we always wanted to be very aware in Mound Ridge of surveys because they were the hot topic at the time politically.
oh yeah,
And so just making sure people are aware. And we
Yeah.
want parents to feel very comfortable and confident and collaborative. We don't ever want to, people to think we're doing things secretive. So
Right.
I tell people this all the time. I've been in public education long enough to know that we cannot be successful alone. That's not me
Yeah.
bashing USD 418 or USD 423. We are only going to be as successful as our collaborative relationship with the patrons, with the Board of Education, with the businesses, and you had talked about resources. Prairie View is another resource. We have social workers within the school. We have counselors within the school. But ultimately, it's going to be those teachers. I put a lot of confidence and a lot of support into my teachers to be the ones that you are going to be closest with this child, maybe even closer than somebody outside of school. You could impact a kid that much.
Yeah.
And so it's that important when those 20 or 21 or 15 come in that you know. And my teachers at Lincoln, I can be confident and tell you that Jennifer Becker, she could tell you within 10 seconds when a first grader came in the classroom that they were off, and she had me in there or Lisa Yoder, not because they were in trouble, to get them out of there to see what they needed to get rolling. Sometimes it was a granola bar, sometimes it was a banana, sometimes it was they needed sleep. If it was a preschooler, it was usually sleep, food, or a break.
We moved a lot growing up, but I can say that I think the teachers that took an interest in me, because I was a really shy kid. I know that's hard to believe, everybody, but it's true. And I had my first grade teacher. I think I'd been to like one kindergarten, maybe two first grades. I don't even know. And this one teacher took the time to help me make a friend and to really connect me, because I was pretty smart, I guess. I guess you could say I was smart. But anyways, so I got bored really easily in school. But she really took the time. She was the only teacher. Her name was Mrs. Manzanares. I'm sure she's passed away because she was pretty old back then. But anyways, but she really took the time to mentor me, and knowing that I was a new student, and it has impacted me. I mean, here I am this old, which I won't say, and I still remember her, right? And she was the only teacher in the school who didn't go on strike that year. We had to go through a strike to get to our classroom every day.
Oh, wow.
And she said, "You mean more to me, than anything else. I will never strike." And I'm not saying anything against that.
Sure.
But that really hit me.
Yeah.
And so I just, anyways, that's my teacher story. But
Okay.
I would always challenge my teachers at Lincoln by if I felt like I was closer to one of their students than they were, I would question that.
Okay.
And I knew they knew I worked hard, but they would usually self-reflect and say, "Oh yeah, this guy has 340 kids. I have 20. I should have a better relationship with this kid." So now, that's not to say I wasn't with some of the tough ones more than the non-tough ones.
Oh, I know, right?
That's what my job was for.
You know, growing up in school, I never wanted Mr. Kuhn, and again, he's probably passed away. You never wanted to go to the principal. I never wanted to see him because he was back in the day when you could SWAT kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, I hear stories. My mom would never admit it, but she told me she remembers getting a spanking in middle school here. So,
Really?
in McPherson, yeah.
I never got
She got with a
swatted.
paddle.
Wow, I never got swatted. Did you, Karolyn? We were kind of ornery, but I guess I never got caught. I don't know.
So I'll admit it was grade school. I was threatened. I had the same teacher for 2 years in a row, and I didn't like her the first year. So the second year was,
Not good.
and so they called my mother, and my mother said, "Don't you dare lay a hand on her. I will deal with it when I get there." And so then I had to wait for my mother to come pick me up, which was worse than just give me the SWAT and let me go back to school.
Yep.
So anyways, we all have teacher stories. I bet
do.
every single one in our audience.
I hope that nobody out there has my rap sheet, because
Oh, I know
you
people
ladies
who
are
know
angels
you.
compared to little Cody Rierson. So, for sure.
Well, I have a son your age, so I might know things.
Yeah, you will. I already checked, like as I was interviewing, I got a tour of the middle school with Inga when I was interviewing, and I'm like, "So how long do they keep records here?" She didn't think it was funny, but I'm like, "No, I'm serious."
That's hilarious.
Yep,
We wouldn't want this to fall in the wrong hands.
that's right. Yep,
Burn that pile. Where's the shredder?
yep.
That's funny. We got to get serious. Okay, so now, so we're talking about students and teachers, and I think it was great that Karolyn brought in the teacher side of it a little bit, because I think that it's not just housing, it's not just impacting our kids,
Yeah.
but our students really also are struggling. So between the two of those, How is that affecting the school, that housing insecurity for your teachers and for your students?
Yeah, I'd say let's start with students first. I'd say it. God, I hate to just act like a know-it-all, but you've definitely seen more transient families, not just in McPherson, but in Moundridge. I saw it too, also in Caldwell. And so, they'll come in for a month, sometimes end up in Vegas and then back or whatever. And sometimes you'll see them multiple times in a year. In Moundridge, it was super interesting because we had a few homeless that had a place at Pete's Puddle. And so they're saying with family out at Pete's Puddle. So, that's one thing. So you see more transient. So it's hard to get a nice, stable schedule for learning. And teachers don't like interruptions, right? And kids I'm not the type to put them on a very rigid schedule, but they like to know what's coming, right? And so, there's a reason why we hit and hammer attendance so much, and it's because it's important. And the more stable, the more that kid knows what's coming, the better they're going to be. So that's one thing, and that has become harder. And so it's been harder for the teacher to manage within the classroom. Yeah. The other thing is I'll say this with teachers and in education, none of the teachers are going to be doing it for the money. Actually, I'll just say no educator is going to do it for the money. And so this has helped at some of the places I've been at is to focus on culture and climate. So if you can develop a culture and climate of trust, collaboration, love, and student first decisions, it helps. It really does. It helps. No, it doesn't help that single mom that's a teacher or a single para that's raising two children on their own.
Yeah.
There's I know as far as policy wise, it would be awesome to come up with a policy or process within the board. That's a nice challenge to me. Nice challenge to the board. We don't have anything currently, but I will say this, we do talk about it. So when we go to the negotiations table, and if we know insurance is going up, we do have those conversations.
Yeah.
And we talk specifically about if there is a single mother that has two children on the family plan, we've got to make it affordable when they come work with us, because that is a huge perk of working for the school district is insurance.
Well, and I think we have seen it firsthand how, like we said, the teacher that we have staying in our permanent supportive housing, to be quite honest, she doesn't need a lot of supports, but she needs that help with the rent, keeping the rent something that she can control. Now, I'll just tell you, folks that live there, 30% of their income is what they pay for their rent. So, if your income, I'm just going to throw it out there, is $1,800 a month, 30% of that is going to be $600.
Okay.
And that's just the way it is. And that is for rent and utilities, because that is what everybody should be paying. But we have heard firsthand from kids. We had a class from the middle school come, and the teacher brought, I think it was 7th and 8th graders, and I'm not exactly sure what they were studying, but she wanted to show them what we were building. So we showed them the emergency shelter, we showed them the permanent supportive housing, and one of those young men told his class, I got to live here. He was in our shelter for just a little bit. He was so proud, but they are beautiful places to be.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
You guys didn't have to sell this to me. I was going to bring this up. I think it's so interesting that it's. I don't know what you were saying at the beginning. I don't even think we were being recorded yet. But you said Sutherland, and I said that's got to be what she's talking about, because I knew you two had something to do with this.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, you did. Huh?
okay, and that was said in a positive tone.
I know, right?
It was. I swear.
And then the other story that we have, like I said, firsthand conversations, was a college student. The college came over with a group of students, and this woman caught Chris afterwards, and she said, my family, I grew up in homelessness, and if we would have had a place like this, it could have made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it does change lives. What we're doing does change lives.
Yeah.
Yep. I had a teacher. It's funny you say that story. Makes me think about when we were at Lincoln. We did a team building game, and that's when I found out one of my teachers was in a very similar situation to what you just said, and I had no clue.
Yeah.
Until that point. So it showed why they were so good with some of those little kiddos at Lincoln.
Yeah, they
Oh,
understand.
yeah.
They have compassion. They can relate. We have somebody right now that's in school, has done everything right. She's working full time. I don't even know how she did this, but she's working full time, going to school part time, and she's been living in her car for 6 months. And we've been able to help her to get
That's
her
awesome.
stabilized. But it's incredible. I have to say, just bragging on us a little bit, it's incredible the way that we've been able to change lives. And it's especially when we are able to affect kids, when we see them, they have more light and they're brighter and they're happier. You can just see that heaviness lift off of them. And you know at that point then they're ready to learn. They're ready to feel like they can make a friend. They don't have to be ashamed. Their clothes are clean. They have plenty to eat.
Yeah.
They can take a shower. All those normal things that we all take for granted, they get to do that now and be proud of where they're living. I never, we get a lot of stuff, I will say, because they are so beautiful. But I wouldn't do anything less for those kids than my kids, right?
Yeah.
So I always get teary because I love
too.
kids too, and
Yeah, they're fun.
And-
Kids are easy. Adults
Yeah.
aren't always easy.
it's true. Well,
Kids are super
it's
easy.
true. It's true. But it really is very rewarding, and we honestly hope, especially through this podcast, that this becomes a national movement.
Yeah.
That every city in America has a tiny home village or something similar where every kid has a place to call home.
Yeah.
That no one is living in their car or hotel or on a couch or any of those places.
Yeah.
This can solve that.
Yep, it absolutely can. All right, well, guys, I hate to do this to us, but, we are kind of at our time limit.
Yeah.
So, Cody, I'm just going to extend that invitation. We're going to give you a few months, get some more time.
Yeah,
underneath
we're
your
bringing you
belt.
back. You're coming back.
Good.
And so if you would be interested or you have any somebody you want to recommend to be on our podcast, please get a hold of us. Drop us a line. Leave us a review. Ask us a question. Tell us what we're doing good or bad. And you can do all of that at housingforgood@mcphersonhc.org.
And have a great day.